Well, Andre was a very special guy, as I'm sure you know, and we miss him to this day. I miss him terribly. I got to know him pretty good, and I share those stories in the book. I feel really privileged that he shared a lot of his personal life with me. I'll never forget. So Andre was 7'3", 450 pounds, okay? And Bill Goldman described him perfectly before I met him. Bill Goldman said to me, the writer, he said,
"He's like the Pentagon. No matter how big they tell you it is, it's much bigger when you're standing in front of it."
And he's right, because Andre was like the eighth wonder of the world. You had to be blocked by the sun with him standing in front of you, or shake his hand, so that your hand was like a little 18-month-old baby's inside this hand the size of a catcher's mitt, you know? And he always had a smile on his face, always. And he was just the gentlest of giants. He would give you the shirt off his back. It would be enough for 5 people. He would still do it for you. Anyway, one day, he called everybody boss, which was hilarious for a guy who's that big. One day he said, "Hey boss, get over here." So when a giant tells you to get over there, you're pretty quick, you know? And I said, "Yeah, Andre, what's up?" He goes, "I want to show you something." And he takes out his wallet, and he proceeds to show me these old photographs that he has in his wallet that he's kept over the years, all crumpled and creased, yeah? And the first one is him, and he's 16, and he's 14, and he's already 6'3", right? Pretty impressive. Next one's him, he's throwing an armoire into the back of a moving van while holding another one in his hand. And I went, "Wow, that's impressive." He goes, "That's how I got started, boss." And he proceeded to tell me a story how he got discovered by a very enterprising furniture remover who saw that Andre could do the work of 5 people, but he would only have to pay 1 person. And then he showed me another picture, and then it's him on the beach in Saint-Tropez with about 8 women on his shoulders. And he goes, "That's when things really started to happen, boss." I said, "You were very popular with the ladies, weren't you?" And he goes, and then there's a picture of him in London when he's 18. He's lifting an Aston Martin above his head. Wow. I mean, amazing pictures. And then I went back to the picture of him as a kid, because it was the only one of him as a kid. And I said, "How tall were you?" He goes, 6'3" or 4 or something. I said, "Well, wow, what was that like for you?" And he proceeded to tell me this story that he couldn't fit on the school bus in his little town of Molière in France, in this little village. And his parents were naturally, freaked out by that, because every parent wants their kid to have an education. And they couldn't figure out how to get Andre to school because he couldn't fit on the bus. And Andre Roussimoff Sr., Andre's dad, who was a farmer and a construction guy, was building a house for this English author, playwright, who moved to Molière, who had the only convertible in town, and convinced him to drive Andre to school. And I go, "Well, who was that?" And he goes, "Samuel Beckett." And I went, "Wait a minute. Whoa, back up a second, Andre. You're telling me Samuel Beckett drove you to school every day?" "Yes, boss." I said, "That's amazing." And I don't think he shared that with many people. At least I couldn't find it anywhere else, but it was incredible. So I said, "What do you guys talk about?" And he goes, "Mostly cricket." And I had the imagination of the idea of Andre playing cricket and just whacking those balls into the stratosphere, you know. Yeah. He was an amazing guy.
There's one really arresting